Go ahead and get started now. You should be seeing a green website on your screen. If you're having any trouble seeing the screen or hearing me, please go ahead and type it into the question screener, or you can also call this number if you're having any trouble, and they can help you troubleshoot. If during the orientation I'm going too fast or you have any questions or you want me to cover anything again, please feel free to put that into the question screener and I'll answer your questions as we go. So to start today, I'm going to be working on this demonstration site. This is just our orientation session site. If you want to play along with your own website, please feel free. You can go ahead and log into your own personal website and follow along. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. And to do that, I'm going to use this little key down here at the bottom left. So whether you're on a trial still or your site is live, you'll always use this little key. The username is always going to be administrator, all lowercase. And the password will be whatever you've changed it to, unless you're still using the temporary password and you haven't changed it yet. Then you'll want to use that one that you were emailed. So now that I'm logged in, I see that I have these editing options up here at the top. So that tells me that I am logged in. I can now start editing the site. So to get started, I'm just going to explain what each different section of the site is, and then from there we'll talk about how to edit each of those particular sections. So first of all, we have the menu up here at the top. That's going to be every page within the website and categorized however you have laid them out or however it started with the trial. Then here we have what's called the header. That's going to be the very top portion of your website. Over here on the left, we have this sidebar. This is called the common content area. And depending on what template you're on, this can either be on the left-hand side of the site or the right-hand side of the site. In this particular case, it's here on the left. And that's just going to be this whole column here. And then last but not least, we have the footer. And that's going to be this very bottom section down here of the website. So because the footer, the common content, and the header appear on every single page, so whether we're on the home page or we hop over to About Us, those sections are always going to appear. And because of that, we edit them through this admin home area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you'll notice that opens up a new window for us. So this is the administration area of the website. It's kind of the back end where you'll go in to make admin changes. This is where you can edit your account information. You can add content like articles. You can add users to the website. You can create email accounts if you have email capabilities with us. And if you have any questions about whether or not you can create email accounts with us, feel free to ask us. And then to edit those areas we were just looking at, we're going to use this administration tab. This is an area that you'll use a lot when you're editing your website. So when I hover over this, I see I have several different options here, and one of which is the header content. I'm going to go ahead and jump in there. And again, this is going to be that very top portion of the website. So some things that you'll want to include in your header are going to be obviously the name of your clinic. In this case, it's just orientation session. You'll want to include where you're located, your address, and your phone number. You'll notice here that the phone number is actually a link, so it's underlined right now. This means that I can click it if I'm on the live site. And to do this, you just highlight the number, you right-click on it, you go to this Insert Edit Link option, that first top option, and up here in the URL, you do TEL, and then the phone number with no spaces. And the reason you would want to do this is because if your clients are on a mobile device, a cell phone or a tablet, they can actually just click on that phone number since it is a link and it'll call your clinic. So you'll definitely want to make that update if you haven't already. And again, just insert edit link, TEL, and the phone number. And then you'll just hit OK, and then it will become a link for you. Something else that you'll want to include in your header is a logo if you have one. That really helps personalize the website. And if you don't have a logo for your clinic, we do have designers here that can help you create one, and there's no additional charge for that. You can just email us any ideas that you have or any sketches that you've drawn up of ideas that you have, and we can send those along to the designers and give you some options. Anytime you make any changes within the editor, you want to make sure that you hit update. And if you've made changes you don't want to keep, you can just hit cancel here. You'll notice our editor is a lot like Microsoft Word. You have options here to change the font type. You can change the font size. You can change the text color. You can align your text to the right, left, or center, bold or italicize. And we'll get more into this as we go through the site, but just a few things to note here. So if you wanted to change this, I can just come into here and update that. Next up, under the Administration tab, we have the footer content. And that's going to be the very bottom portion of the website, so the very last footer part of the site. When you get started with a trial, we start you off with just some links to a policies page and a privacy page. You can choose to delete these if you want, or you can swap them out for your own links. So you can have links down there going to any page on your website if you choose. If you're part of any veterinary organizations, this is a great place to highlight that with a button or a link. So basically anything that you want to point out to your clients down at the bottom of your website, this would be a great place to do it. You can also include your phone number down here if you want to add your phone number to another part of the website. And again, any changes you make, just make sure you hit update. And the last item I want to show you under the Administration tab is that common content area. So on our website that we're working on here, remember this was the area that was on the left, and again, it might be on the right for you if you're on a different template. And when you start with the trial, we start you off with just a simple hours table. So if you needed to update any of these, you can just come into here. Again, it's a lot like Word, and just update these hours to whatever yours may be. You can also add special notes here, like we've shown examples of below. So if you have a day that you have meetings scheduled that you're not open, you can just go ahead and put an asterisk here and make the note below. This is also a great place to highlight any holiday hours changes that you might have. You can come into here and add special notes about that. We also include some social media buttons. If you aren't using any of these platforms, you'll want to make sure that you delete these buttons. If you are using them, you'll want to make sure that you link them. And we'll go through how to link when we go back out to the website. And then we also include this Get Directions button. And when clicked, that's going to lead your clients to the Contact Us page. So they can view an interactive map of how to get to your clinic. And they also have an option to submit a form to you to give you any questions or comments that they might have. So again, just another place on the website to highlight things to your clients. You can add your phone number or address here if you'd like, whatever information you want to pop out to your clients. This is a great place to put a pharmacy button or link if you use an outside pharmacy. So just another great place to highlight things. And again, just hit update if you make any changes. Going back out to Admin Home. The one last thing I want to point out here is that this is where you can change your entire template. So if you want to change the whole look of the site, you're sick of the way it looks right now, you want to try something different, or you're just getting started with the trial and you haven't played around with them yet, this is where you'll want to go for that. So you'll see here, it shows that I'm currently on the cherry template. And if you want to change this, all you have to do is click this button here. And this is going to show you all of the current styles that we have. So these are all of the available templates. They're all mobile responsive, which means they're automatically going to resize for a mobile device or a tablet. So you don't need to worry about that. And you can hover over these to get a larger image of what they look like. You don't want to get too hung up on the photos or the color schemes that you see here. You're basically just looking at the bones of the site. So you're looking at where the menu is, where the header is, where the footer is. So you'll notice here we have the common content off on the left below the menu, and the menu's on the left-hand side. And then if you look at one like this, you have your menu all the way at the top, and the common content is actually sitting in the middle. So they all are a little bit different, and you'll just want to pick one that you like the look of. Here we have the common content on the right. I'm going to go ahead and switch to this cottonwood theme. So after you've selected your template, it's then going to ask you to select a corresponding image. You can either choose from any of these stock images, or you can say no image if you prefer to have no image up there. And another option that you have is to email us pictures. So if you have a photo of patients that you see there that you'd like to include on the website, you can definitely email those to us, and our designer can incorporate those in for you. And depending on what template you've chosen, you can also do rotating images. So if you have several different images that you'd like to include, Our designer can add those in for you as a slideshow at the top of the site, and then you can have a few rotating through. I'm going to go ahead and just select one of these stock photos. And then once you've chosen the template picture, it's then going to ask you for a corresponding color scheme that you'd like. So we have all of these colors here available. If you don't like any of these, or you'd like to do a custom color, one to match the color that your lobby is painted or that's in your logo, we can definitely do that for you. You can just go ahead and email us with the color that you'd like to use, and then we can add that in for you. I did get a question about a website that's not mobile responsive. If you're not on a mobile responsive template right now, then you can just give us a call, or you can log in and go to the admin home area to that change template button and go ahead and get it changed. Any of the ones that are on there now are going to be mobile responsive. You can also email us if you want us to take a look at it, and I can take a look after the call too, and we can help you to make sure that it is responding on mobile devices and tablets and that everything looks updated. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this red color. So now you can see here I've now selected Cottonwood Style 7, and if I go back out to the website with this button here, now I can see those changes that I've just made onto the site. So I'm now on a new template. Now my header's still at the top. My menu is right below it. My common content is now on the right-hand side, and then the footer is down here at the bottom. So now that we're back out at the website, I'm going to go ahead and start showing you how to edit individual pages. So on this particular page, we just have basic text, we have an image here, and we have some links. So on this particular page, I'm just going to use this Edit Content button. This is going to be what you probably use most on your website. And again, this is just going to be for any basic web page where you just need to change the text or the images. So when I click on Edit Content, I'm taken to this editor screen here. And again, it's going to look a lot like it did in that header. It's the same editor. So I have all of these options up here. And I can just go ahead and highlight this. I can make this font bigger. I can change the font style. I can add some color to it. So you can personalize the website however you want to, with whatever colors you'd like to use or whatever images that you have. So if I wanted to swap out this image, let's say, I can go ahead and just delete it. I'm just hitting delete on my keyboard, and that completely wipes it out. And then I want to add a new picture here. So whenever you want to add a picture, you just want to make sure you place your cursor where you want the picture to appear. So you'll see now my cursor is blinking right next to welcome. And all you have to do is either right-click to get to Insert Edit Image, or you can use this button right here. They'll both get you to the same place. So Insert Edit Image, that's going to bring up this small screen here, and this is asking where you want to pull the photo from. So I'm going to click on this button here. It's like a little folder with a magnifying glass. And this is going to bring up the File Manager. The File Manager is something that you'll use a lot when you're editing your website. This houses all of the stock photos that eVetSites offers, and they're all categorized by species. So if you wanted to add a picture of a cat, you can just jump into the felines folder. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to upload your own image. So if you have an image saved on your computer that you want to add to the website, you would just come into here, click Upload. It's going to ask you what files you want to upload. You can either drag them from your desktop, or you can click this Add Files button. And I'm going to go ahead and select this picture of my dog. So you'll notice after I've selected it, it's just sitting here at 0%. You do need to hit this blue Upload button for it to start uploading to the site. So once I click that, you'll notice it climbed up to 100%. So now I know it's fully uploaded. I just need to hit Close here. And the photo is automatically selected after you've uploaded it, so all you have to do is hit Insert. And then I'm just going to hit OK. And now it's on the website. So now I have the photo I had saved on my computer within this page. Now I noticed right away that it's pretty large, and that my text has now dropped all the way down here. So if I were to save right now, just to show you what it looks like, you'll notice that the spacing over here is off, and the writing is right up along the picture, and the picture looks pretty big for this page. So I'm going to go back into here. If you double click on an image, any image on your site, you can change the dimensions right within this first screen. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this about in half. So all you have to do is change the first number to whatever you want it to be, and then if you click out, it will automatically resize the other portion so that the proportions are correct. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So now my photo is about half the size it was. I still have this issue of the text being down here. So I'm going to double click again. So you'll notice we have this General tab, and then we have this Advanced tab. Under this Advanced tab is where you can make some additional changes to the picture. You can add a border. You can also align the picture. So in this particular case, I want my picture on the left, so I want it to be over here on the left-hand side of the screen, and then I want the text to wrap on the right. So for now, I'm just going to start by aligning it to the left. So now my text has moved all the way up. It's now wrapping around the image, but you'll notice that it's right up along that picture. There's really no space there. To fix that, I'm going to go back into the Advanced tab, and I'm going to add a margin here. So I'm adding a margin to the right-hand side of the picture. If my photo were aligned on the right, I would want to add a margin on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a 10 here. This is going to be read as pixels. Anything between 1 and 15 is going to be good. If you do a 10 and you decide you want more space, you can always jump back in here and change that. Then you'll notice up here, this style bar is automatically changing. This is telling the code what it needs to read, and you don't need to worry about changing that at all. Every time you make a change in here, it's going to automatically be reflected here. So I'm going to do a 10 here. And now you see that we have a buffer here between that text and that picture. Just to show you what a border would look like, you can pick a color from this. You can also do a custom color code here if you have a particular color in mind. And then I'm going to give it a width. Again, this is going to be read as pixels. Anything between 1 and 15 is good unless you want a really thick border. I'm going to go ahead and do 10. And now I have a border around my image. So we've added in our own picture. We've given it a border. We've aligned it to the left, and we've added a right margin. So now that text is wrapping around on the right. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now everything is wrapping around. The spacing looks correct. And then one last thing I want to show you about photos is under the General tab, you have this image description option. This is where you can put a little description about what the picture is. And when your clients hover over the picture, they'll be able to read what you say. So I will say, here is my dog, Mango. And I'm just going to hit OK here. So now when I hover over this, that's what my clients will see, is here's my dog, Mango. This is good for your SEO, your search engine optimization. Google will pick up on these words. So it's a good idea just to add, your clinic name as many times as you can. So this is another great place to fit that in. Also, you'll notice on this page we have some links here. So if your client were to click on this, it will take them to the veterinarian staff page. They can click this to go to the pet library. They can also click on this button to go to the library. So any image that you have or icon, you can link to either an outside web page like your Facebook page or to a page within your site. So I could link this picture if I wanted, or I could just link the basic text. I'm going to go ahead and just select some text here. So I'm going to highlight these services. So if I wanted to link these to my services page, I'm just going to right-click after I've highlighted the text I'd like. And if you're working with an image, you would just right-click on the picture. And then I'm going to use this first option here, which is Insert Edit Link. Here it's going to ask me what URL I want to use. So I can put in, if I were linking to a Facebook page, I would do something like this. You can also just copy and paste the URL. In this particular case, I'm actually going to a page within my website. So I'm just going to select it from this link list option. And I'm going to go to Our Services. So you'll notice it automatically put that URL in the top field after I selected Our Services. And I'm going to hit OK here. And now you'll notice those words are linked. So now if I hit Save and I jump back out, I now have this services option as a link. So when clicked, your clients are going to be taken directly to the services page. So again, you can link any text that you'd like on your website, any icons, any images. You can link any of those to go to either an outside web page or one within your website. I'm going to jump now to the staff page. So the staff page comes with every new website, and you'll want to make sure that you update it with pictures and bios from the people at your clinic so that you can personalize it. And this particular page is set up in a table, and I know that because I can tell that the spacing is completely uniform. Everything is aligned properly. And if I jump into edit content, I can see here that it's within a table. I know that because when I click on it, I see these little squares appear, and I also see all of these little dashed lines around the information. So up here, you would just come in, you would type in your own bio, so you can just update this text here, and then you can swap out these pictures for the ones of your doctors or staff members. And again, you would just right-click on it, do Insert Edit Image, and then come into here to upload your own picture. And that will just completely replace whatever stock one is there. And then over here, you can type in your bio, you can change the formatting of it. Now, let's say you had more than 2 doctors and you needed to add to this table. So you have different options with your tables. With this table, you have 2 columns. So we have a column for the pictures, and we have a column for the bios. And then right now we have 3 rows set up. So we have 1 row for Dr. Jen Smith. Then we have this buffer row, which is just adding in some space between the 2 of them. And then we have a row for Dr. John Smith. So if we added a new doctor, all you'd have to do is go into this last cell here. So each one of these squares is a cell. And if you right-click, you have the option here to add additional rows or columns. So I'm going to go ahead and add a row after. And that's going to give us that buffer row, again, just the spacing between the 2 doctors. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another row for the actual doctor that I'm adding. So I would put their bio here, and then their picture here, and then I would have an additional doctor added to the page. And you can do that as many times as you need to for however many doctors you have at the clinic. You can also add additional columns. So if I wanted to add a column after this, it'll give me another column on this side. And you can add whatever you'd like here. If you want to highlight any specializations, the education information, you can do that on this side. And then if I decided I didn't want that column, you can just come into here and delete the column. So with tables, you have the options to add rows or columns. And again, these are useful just because they're going to help you align your information so that it all looks uniform, that the spacing looks correct. And since it's basically repeated information, you want it to look uniform like that. I'm just going to go ahead and save this and close it. Now, let's say this table wasn't here already. You can also add in a new table. So to do that, you just come up here, you go to Table, Insert Table, and then you select the amount of columns and rows that you want. And these little blue squares that are highlighted are going to relate to the amount of cells. So this would be a 2-column table with 3 rows and a total of 6 cells. Okay, jumping over to the hours page. So this particular page is actually a page where you need to use Edit Special. It's one of our template pages, so it automatically comes built like this. So if I were to go to Edit Content, I'm going to notice I don't see anything. That tells me right away that this is a template page and I need to be using Edit Special. You can either X out and go to the Edit Special button, which is back there, or you can just click this Switch to Edit Special. Once I switch to Edit Special, now I'm going to see that hours selection. So if the hours were to change or they weren't updated from the trial hours, you can just jump into here and update these as you need to. And if there are any days that you are closed, you just have to check those boxes. Go ahead and hit Save. So let's say you had some special hours coming up or you wanted to note that you'll be closed for the holidays. You can just put a special note. And this will appear above that table. You can change all of this. go ahead and hit save. So that'll appear above this hours table. So on this particular page, you can use both edit content and edit special. Edit content will just be used to highlight special notes at the top. Jumping over to the services page. This is a stock page that we provide with all of our websites, and you'll definitely want to make sure you comb through this one and remove any services that you don't offer at your clinic, and also that you highlight any that you do. So if there's something that you offer that we don't have listed here, you'll definitely want to jump in and add those in. We include these little buttons here, and if you need to find those, they're in the file manager. And again, you can link any of these pages. So if you wanted to link this emergency care button or text directly to your emergencies page, you would be able to do that. And to do that, you would just highlight it and do the right-click Insert Edit Link. So this one, for instance, is going to the surgical services page. Some other pages that we offer under services are a screenings page, a surgical FAQs page. This is another one that you'll want to go through, make sure that we're not listing out any information that doesn't apply to your clinic. For instance, you will need to withhold food for at least 8 to 10 hours before surgery. If you have different information that you like to give your clients, you'll want to jump into here. You would go to Edit Content and just change any text that you need to. You can also swap out these photos. If you wanted to add pictures of a surgery being performed at your clinic, you would definitely be able to do that. You would just right-click again, do the Insert Edit Image, and upload your own to this section. We also have some other FAQs, another page you're going to want to update with your own information. We include some hours here that you'd need to change, and just some more questions that we think your clients would find useful. So this is the pet library page. This is going to be the VIN library that comes with every website. And to activate it, you only need to activate it once, and you're going to use this Edit Special button. So if you click on that, you'll notice right now no species are selected. All you have to do is select the ones that you'd like. So if I only saw dogs and cats at my clinic, I'm just going to select those two and hit Save. And now when I go back out, I see now that it's activated. So it has the 2 species that I selected highlighted, and now I can search within this field. So when your clients come to your website, they have the option to select dogs or cats or whatever you've highlighted within the editor, and then they can type in a topic here. So let's say your client wanted to learn more about fleas. They can just type that in directly within that box, hit search, and the search is completely embedded within your website. They don't need to leave to view any of this information. And this is all pulling from the VIN Pet Health Library, which is a reputable source. These are written by our consultants. And when you click on this, the article appears right within the page. So they can read this here. They also have the option to print the article or email it. So this is a great way to drive traffic to your website. If you're ever discussing a topic with your clients, you can always say, you know, check out the pet library on our website if you want to learn more about this. You can also email an article to them directly in front of them. So you would just put in their email address and any message that you wanted to include with it. So again, this is completely embedded within your website. They don't need to leave to view the articles, and they can print or email them directly from the site. So that's the pet library. If you do have that on your website right now, just want to make sure that it's activated. We also offer these informational pages. These come with all of our websites. We have the Pet Food Recalls page. This comes from the Drug and Food Recall Center on VIN. And you don't need to worry about updating this page at all. It automatically gets updated. So this is going to include information on latest recalls. They can browse recalls by year. They can also subscribe to the Recall Center. We have a how-to videos page. These are just some videos that we think your clients might find useful. You can delete any of these that you don't want included. If you do have a YouTube channel for your clinic, this would be a great place to post some of your own videos that you have. And you can also add a YouTube button over here if you do have a YouTube channel. We have a poisonous plants chart. And you'll notice this is set up within a table with 4 columns. So if we hopped into the editor, you'll see here we have a large table with 4 columns and a ton of rows here. So if you needed to add to this, you could just do insert row after and add any additional plants that you wanted to. This is integrated content, so these are news articles that you can have rotating through your website. You can also choose to include these on the home page. So if you wanted to have rotating articles underneath the content on the home page, that's an option as well. And I'll show you how that works towards the end of the orientation. But any time that this page is refreshed, they're going to see 6 new articles. So anytime they click that, it's 6 new articles. And again, all they have to do is click read more, and it's going to be directly within your website. They don't need to leave. And you have the option whether you want 2, 4, or 6 articles showing and what type of articles you'd like. You can also add your own articles to this. So if you have anything that you've typed up that you would like to have rotating through the site, you can do that as well. You can also view all of the articles that are shown by clicking on that button there, and that'll show you every single article that could possibly come up, and you can choose to exclude them as well. So these are all going to be pages that automatically update for you. You don't need to worry about keeping them refreshed. And then we offer a links page, just some links that we think might be useful for your clients. Again, you can choose to delete any of these links, or you can add your own. You can also add images to this page if you'd like. We also offer this more features section. These are just some additional page types that you can choose to use or not. So we have a calendar. If you have any upcoming events at your clinic or any specials that you're running, this is a great place to highlight that. We have an employment page if you have any employment opportunities that are opening up. We have a photo album page. We start you off with some stock photos, so if you want to replace any of those, you can. We offer a coupon page. If you have any coupons that you want to be available to your clients, they can come into here and print them directly from the website. And then we have a site search and a site map. I'm going to jump over now to the forms section. So the forms are a really powerful tool that we offer with the websites, and these are forms that your clients can fill out directly through the website, and it all gets submitted online. What happens is they submit them, it gets emailed to whatever address you'd like to have on file, and then from there you can contact your client and respond to them with whatever questions they had, or if they're trying to set up an appointment, you can then schedule your appointment. You also have the option, if you don't like the online versions, to upload files. So in this case, this would be something where your clients would click on it, they can open this up, and they would actually print this out, fill it out, and bring it into the clinic. Just save everybody a little bit of time so they can have those forms beforehand. So if you don't like the online option, you definitely have this option to have them printed out. As for the online option, the forms look like this, and you can customize these completely. So this is an example of our new client check-in form. So they would go through here, fill out this form. You can choose which questions are required or not. And then they would just come down to here, submit the form, and it would be emailed to you. So to edit the forms, this is another page where you have both edit content and edit special. So in edit content, you just have the text that's above the form, and you can personalize this however you'd like. And then if we switch to edit special, this is where the actual form builder is. So you can give your form whatever name you'd like. This is going to be where the form is sent to. So if you have multiple email addresses that you'd like to use, you can definitely do that. Just put a comma between them, and you can do as many email addresses as you'd like here. You have your form response. This is going to be what your clients see after they've successfully submitted a form. And you can type in whatever you'd like here. You can also add images. If you want to include a coupon with this, you can. And then down here is all of the fields that are going to be the questions that you're asking of your client on the form. So you have the option to delete any of these. You would just hit this red X. So if I wanted to get rid of that one, I just hit that, and now it's wiped out. You can also move questions up or down. So if I wanted to move this one down one, I just hit that green down arrow, and now it's below the address question. You can also move them up. Here's where you check if they're required or not. And then if you wanted to add new fields to this, you would just use this Add a New Field section. You can choose what type of question you'd like to ask. We have some standard ones that we have built in, or you can just use a text area, block, or field for any new ones. And then you have the option of where you'd like to put it in within the questionnaire. Then you would just hit Update anytime you make a change, and then it will be reflected on the live page. If you ever have a client say that they've submitted a form but you didn't get it by email, you can always check on form submissions within this editor. So you'll notice here we have a View Results Here button. You can also download them as an Excel file if you want to print them out. But if I click on this button, if I were to have any submissions, they would all appear here. It'll show the information the client provided and then the date that they submitted it. So if a client says that they submitted it and you don't see it in here, chances are they forgot to check that little I am not a robot button, so it didn't actually come through, or they didn't answer all of the required questions. So in that case, you would just need to ask them to fill it out again, and once they do that and it successfully comes through, you'll see it come into here. If they say that they did submit it, you didn't get it, and you do see it in here, just go ahead and send us an email or call us and we can look into where it went. It's a good idea to check your spam folders if you are receiving forms by email. Sometimes they have wound up in spam folders, so you can always check there as well. So those are the forms. And we do offer some stock ones to get you started. We have a new client, prescription refill, change of address, and request appointment. These are all pre-built for you. So you can come into here and just tweak them as you need to. Or you can build a form from scratch, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So if you wanted to add a boarding form or an employment form, you have the option to do that as well. So the last items on the site I wanted to go through that we have pre-built into our menus are the Contact Us page. This is going to be a page where your clients can view this interactive map, see where you're located, and it also includes your contact information. You also have the option here to allow clients to contact you with a little built-in form beneath the map. So if I were to put in an email address here and hit Save, it's automatically going to build this little form down here. And anytime this was submitted, it would go to that email address I put in. So this is just another area where your clients can easily send you a question or a comment. If you don't want this to be available, all you would need to do is delete that email address, and it will completely inactivate that form. So now your clients don't have that option. If your address were to change, you can just jump into here. Let's say we move down the street. You just update your address or your phone number, whatever needs to be changed, and the map will automatically be updated as well. So you don't need to worry about refreshing that at all. That will automatically pull from whatever information you have over here. And again, we have an edit content section on this page as well. So if you wanted to highlight any specific driving directions, or you wanted to link to your emergencies page, you can do all of that within this top part as well. We also have a client feedback page, and again, this is just another area where your clients can send you questions or comments. We have an emergencies page. And this is definitely another one of those pages that you'll want to update if you have it live on your site for the trial. So when you get started with us, we start you just with your own clinic information, assuming that you see emergency cases. If you have a different clinic that you like to refer to, you definitely want to update this with that information. So to do that, I would come up here to Edit Special, and you can just type in whatever emergency clinic you like to refer to. You can put in their address and their phone number, and then it will automatically include maps for them. So now I have the clinic I like to refer to, and my client can just click on any of these buttons to find the map for them. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about was hiding these pages or deleting them. So if there was any page that I went over that you don't particularly want on your website, you have the option to delete them completely, or you can hide them. to make any changes to this menu. So whether you want to add a new page, if you wanted to add a form, if you want to delete an existing page, or if you want to move pages around, any changes you want to make to this area, you're going to do that through Edit Menu. This is what Edit Menu looks like. So it shows all of your pages over here, and you can expand these out to see the pages underneath the top level menus. So if you wanted to delete a page, let's say we didn't want to have the option for clients to submit feedback online, all you have to do is select the page that you want to delete. Just make sure you have it selected over here, and then you would just click Delete. It will ask you if you're sure you want to delete it. Just hit OK, and now it's completely wiped out from the menu. You also have the option to hide pages. So this is really useful if you're working on a page but you're not quite ready for your clients to see it yet and you don't want it to be live. You can hide it so that you have to be logged in to view the page. So only administrators are going to be able to see the content. So if I wanted to hide one of these forms, let's say, I would just click on the page I want to hide. And then down here, this last option here is whether or not the page is hidden. Right now it says no. You just have to select yes and save. And you'll notice now it's in parentheses. The parentheses are telling me that it is a hidden page. I have to be logged in to see it. And you'll also notice that out here as well. So if your client were in here, they would not be able to see this. You would have to be logged in. And then if you decide that you're ready to take it live, you just come back into here and say no. And then you'll notice that those parentheses disappear. If you wanted to add a new form or any new type of page, you'd get to choose where you want to put it. You can add a top level menu item, which is going to appear right within that top portion, or you can add a sub-level menu item beneath an existing option. So if I wanted to add a new form, I'm going to go ahead and add it here. So it starts you off by just titling it New Page and the number of the page. Over here is where you have the options to customize the page. So I would put in boarding form, and then here's where I can put in a description. Again, this is good for Google to pick up, good for your SEO. You can type in some information about your clinic here, the name of the clinic, your address. This page slug will automatically be put in for you, depending on the title that you put in. And then here's where you have the option of what type of page you want this to be. So you're probably primarily going to be working with just a basic web page, and that's just going to be the plain text and images, or you can choose from any of these template pages. So if you had a blog that you wanted to incorporate, you would do a blog page. If you wanted to add in a calendar page. These are all pretty self-explanatory. If you ever forget, you can click here, and this gives you a rundown of each type of page. So in this case, we're doing a forms page. So I'm going to do form page advanced. And I'm going to go ahead and hide it for now since it's not ready. So now I've added a new boarding form page. I've made it a form page type so that I can edit it as a form. And I've hidden it for now, so it's in parentheses. So now if I come back out here, it's automatically going to take me to the page I just created. So I'm on this page right now. And then I can go to Edit Special to start building my form. So I can title it what I'd like. I can add the email addresses. I can type in whatever message I want them to see. And then I can start building my form. So you'll notice that since this one is from scratch, I don't have any existing fields already added. I have to add them in myself. So I can choose to add the name in, go ahead and ask for a phone number, ask for an email address. I'm going to make these all required. Just hit update here. So that would be how you build a form from scratch, and you'll see here it's starting to get built, and you can go back in as much as you need to add additional questions. When the page is live, you can still go in and edit the form as you need to, and that's how you would add a new page and form to the site. So we talked about adding pages, we talked about deleting pages, hiding pages. You can also move items around. So if I decided I wanted the pet library moved down a little bit, you have two options. You can click on it and drag it with your mouse, and that'll move it. Or you can use these move up, move down buttons. So if I wanted to move it back up one, that'll move it up one. You can also move pages that are underneath other ones. So if I wanted to move this calendar page out, I just clicked on it, I dragged it out, now it's its own top level menu item. So now if I were to save this, it's now up here rather than underneath more features. So you have the ability to personalize this menu however you'd like. And again, if you want to delete any of the pages that we offer, if you decide that you don't want this how-to videos page, you can either hide it or completely delete it, and that'll wipe it off of the site. Okay, so that's pretty much everything as far as the editing tools. I did want to go back over a few things. I mentioned earlier that you can change this page to have articles rotating through the bottom. To do that, you would just go to Edit Menu, and you'll notice right now the home page is selected. It's just a basic web page. You can change the page type at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to a integrated content page. And that's going to give me those articles down here at the bottom. And now I have the option to do 2, 4, or 6 articles. And I can choose what type of articles I want selected. So now I have 4 articles here, and anytime I refresh this page, they'll automatically update to 4 new ones. Oh, it changed to 6. It'll automatically change to new articles each time this page is refreshed, and I don't need to worry about updating these at all. It'll automatically get updated. Something else I wanted to go over, I'm going back into the common content area, is you can change these icons, and you can also link them. So we have different options for what types of icons you can use. If you wanted to change this to something a little bit more fun, you would just go to Insert, Edit Image, go into the File Manager. Inside of our image bank, we have this icons folder, and we have all sorts of icons here. We have Facebook buttons, we have credit card buttons, care credit, hours buttons, and here we have some Facebook options. So I'm going to go ahead and select this little paw print. And I'll notice that's a little bit small, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of that. So now I have this Facebook paw here. So I can change any of these to the paws or whatever version of the icon I'd like to use. And you can change those at any time. And then if I didn't use Instagram, I'm just going to click on that button and hit delete. And that wipes that out. You can also right-click on these to go ahead and link them to your particular pages. So if I right-click on this, I go to Insert, Edit Link, and that's going to show me the Facebook link. So if you needed to update that at any time, you can. You can also add a title here, so that when hovered over, that's what they're going to see. You can also add different icons here. If you have a Pinterest board, we have Pinterest buttons. If you have a Twitter account that you want to add, you can add that as well, and you'll find all of those through that icons folder. And if there's any icon that you're looking for that you don't see there, just let us know and we can add that in for you. Also, if you ever get stuck while you're editing your website, we do have this help button. That's going to take you to the help site. We have tips and tricks here. We have tutorials. You can also just type into this search what you're looking for. So if you needed help with a form, you can come into here and find articles on forms. You can also always just give us a call at this number here. We're always here to help. Before you get frustrated with the editor or you're hung up on something for too long, please feel free to call us. That's what we're here for. You can also email us. Our email is support@eVetSites.com. That's right here. Or again, you can always just search within this site to see if you can find the help that you need. So some other things I did want to point out is that we do offer makeovers for websites. Those are complimentary. So if you currently have a website with us and you're looking to completely revamp it, or you have some sections of it that need some help, we do offer makeovers. And what that is we start a separate website for you, and we work on it behind the scenes. So we basically make a duplicate copy of the website you have, and then we work on that by updating it, and your clients don't actually see what's being changed. Your live site would stay exactly the same, and we just work on the behind-the-scenes site until you're happy with it. And then once we've made all the changes that you'd like to make, or you've updated the template to something you like better, from there we can go ahead and take it live in place of your current website. So if that's something that you think you might be interested in, feel free to give us a call at this number, or you can send us an email to support@eVetSites.com. Or you can just let me know right now in the question screener if that is something you'd like to get started. And just give me your domain name and we can get working on that. We also offer SEO consultations. So SEO, again, is search engine optimization. And we have somebody here that can sit down with you. Those take about an hour. And he can teach you different ways to improve your presence online, ways to incorporate keywords into your website organically to get picked up by Google. So if that's something that you might be interested in, feel free to give us a call, or again, send us an email and we can schedule that with you. So that was everything I wanted to cover today. I'm going to go ahead and spend these last few minutes opening it up to questions. Okay, we have one question already. How do we change the photo slideshow at the top of our template? So I'm assuming you're talking about this photo here. And in order to change that, our designer actually needs to do it for you. So what you would do is you would email us the picture that you're interested in using, and then she can put that into the template for you. If you want to have rotating ones in here, like a little slideshow, you would just email us all the pictures that you want to use, and she can condense those down and make them the right size for you and get those rotating. If you have a slideshow on your site that you're interested in updating, with that you can use Edit Special. So let me show you an example of that. So if I were to change this to a slideshow page type, and go to Edit Special, you have the option to create slideshows on your website. So if you have a bunch of different images that you want to scroll through on a certain page and you don't want to just have them all lined up, you can create a slideshow and you can add slides. So if you already have a slideshow on your page, you can go in and delete existing slides. You can add new ones. So I'm not sure if you were referring to that type of a slideshow or the one here, but if you want to change the one here, it would be something our designer does. If it's one that's on a slideshow page type, it's something that you can control through Edit Special. And if that didn't answer your question, feel free to ask me a follow-up. So again, I'll stay on the line for a few more minutes to answer any questions. If you think of something after this ends, just feel free to give us a call or send us an email. And we will also have this recorded and up on the help site shortly. You can also view any past orientations that we've done on our YouTube channel.